Hey there, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video for, it'll be two videos for a pair of films I've been wanting to review for a while. The Collector and The Collection. And I would say if you've never seen these films, the best way to watch them is to watch them back to back. Because they really do work well as a double feature. They really do work well as sort of one movie put together. Like if you watch it from the beginning of The Collector and then you watch the ending of The Collection, you'll get a big satisfaction from the experience, at least in my opinion. So, again, I would recommend watching both. And I enjoy both of these. But getting to the first film, The Collector, now the guy who directed is Marcus Dunstan. Him and his friend who he co-wrote, Patrick Melton, they were guys who helped write some of the Saw sequels. And I'm not a fan of the Saw sequels. Maybe Saw 2 I guess, kind of deal with, but I'm not a big Saw guy. I like the first one. That's pretty much it. And then the second one, originally, I guess it was supposed to be a prequel to the Saw films. And thankfully, they didn't go that route. They said, just make our own villain. And this is what I'm talking about when the new Halloween film came out. I don't want to see the 50th Michael Myers movie. I'm sorry. I love Halloween and Halloween 2 and even Halloween 3. I like Halloween 4 and H2. But I like to see new stuff too. Now granted, just because it's new doesn't automatically make it good, but that's an effort that I appreciate more nowadays. Because in doing so, we either get Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which are both very solid films, or we get stuff like this. Now, one of the reasons that this film works so well is the lead actor, played by Josh Stewart, who is also the star of this one, the sequel. And nowadays, it's rare to find like a lead male hero, anti-hero for a horror film franchise. I mean, other than Ash from The Evil Dead, but I mean, there's a couple others, but it for nowadays, from the 2000s onward, seems a little bit more rare. But the character of Arkin, I really enjoy in these movies. I think Josh Stewart does a wonderful job. He's one of the big reasons why I enjoy both these films. Really like the character. He's an ex-convict. He was a thief, but now he's a handyman with these new customers. And he's got a good heart. He's friendly to the family's kid and trying to do the best that he can. But then his wife is in debt with these loan sharks, and the money is need to be paid by midnight. So in order to protect her and their daughter, because the wife's like, I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave with the daughter to get away from these guys unless you help pay the money. So you feel sorry for the guy. And the wife is bitchy, at least in the first film. So you just really feel sorry for Arkin. Just, he plays very nice with his own daughter. And it's like he just wants to help his daughter out to not go through this stuff. And now he's being forced to partake in this thievery again. And he breaks into the house because no one is supposed to be home. So he's not there to hurt anybody or anything. Just open up a safe, steal something, and leave. But when he goes into the house, he finds out he is not the only person in the house. It's the collector. Which I always thought it would be funny if you pulled off the mask and it was Macaulay Culkin. And in a way, this became like a sequel to the Home Alone movies. Like Kevin McAllister got fucked up when he grew up. Wouldn't that be funny though? Wouldn't that be a trip if he pulled off the mask and it was Macaulay Culkin? Actually, it'd probably be like a groaner, like what the fuck? It's a sort of a fun thought though. I think there was a video where, not dealing with this, but like another one where Macaulay Culkin, he played that character growing up, and it was crazy. Could be wrong, but I remember there being a video online, like a skit, dealing with that. But yeah, the collector is in the house, and what the collector does is, granted, I should have said this before, if you're going to these films for realism, you're not getting it. So I don't think of these films as realism. I think of them as escapism. And here's the thing, if I'm having fun with the movie, if I'm being entertained and liking the film, escapism can go a long way. Usually that's why we go to the movies, to escape. It's just for me, when the movie's fucking awful, then all I can see is the bullshit you're trying to sell me. But in this case, I'm having fun. With this guy being a psycho adult version of Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone. I mean, and there's some good looking shots from the director, like this shot where the camera is up above the wall and you see both the collector and Arkin move and sort of stop almost at the same place, looking at each other, but there's a wall between them. And the way it's synchronized. Like certain shots like that are really cool. I mean, the opening credits, which are kind of like the opening credits to Seven, is done in that style, which I like that. Quite a few films in the 90s. I think Mimic did that. I know there's others that did that. ICU, also known as Detox, kind of did that. Was Stallone. But the collector, what he'll do is he'll go into people's homes. He sets up shitload of traps and other stuff. And usually he'll take one person and put them in this box in order for when he gets to his next destination, he'll put the box there, and then the person who was caught before, they're let out, but they're tied up or they're locked up, and again, just the killer's demented way of playing the game, I guess. But there's all sorts of crazy shit in the house, and again, if you're going with this for realism, like how the fuck did he put all this shit together? How the hell did he create all these traps? Well, I keep saying traps, but it's not like Jigsaw. You know, it's not like the Saw films where it's like this goes to this, goes to this. There's a little bit of it, but not as much as a Saw movie. I'm talking about, when I say traps, having razor sharp wire across a doorway. So if someone tries to pass, it's like, oh, and maybe it gets hit and it cuts their skin a little bit. Or there's one place where there's a shitload of like bear traps, which a guy just killed, and it was pretty cool, gruesome death. You try to pick up the phone and there's like a nail on the phone, and if you don't notice it, it goes right into your ear and sticks you. And I'm trying to think. I was thinking, sorry for that pause, whether I should give. You know, I'll give spoilers. Fuck it. This film's from 2009. It's almost a decade old now. So screw it. But I like the atmosphere of the film. I like all these little things that the killer set up throughout this house. Sort of made his own personal death trap. I did, like Kevin McAllister would do. Like Macaulay Culkin would do in Home Alone. I thought that was a fun concept. Josh Stewart, he's trying to do the best that he can in the situation. tries to get there's people trapped in the basement. He tries to get them out. They want the mom is in a tub. She wants him to go look for the daughter. He's like, well, you don't have to scream for distraction. This one gruesome moment where there's this stuff on the floor, like this sticky stuff, and the family's house cat is stuck to the floor, and the cat's trying to get out, and it's stuck to the fur, and it's growling. It's like, and it finally gets out into the windowsill. Only that there's another trap, and it cuts the fucking cat in half. Pretty gruesome sequence. And at the end, from time like Arkin tries to do like Josh Stewart's character tries to do his best, like tries to shush the mom, but she ignores him and runs off and gets her ass fucked up. This teenage girl comes home with her boyfriend. They try to have sex, and Arkin, like she gets fucked up, but then Arkin tries to save her, tries to get her out, but she doesn't want to listen to him. She doesn't want to. Her head is in the fucking clouds, and that's where she gets pretty much pulled to this fucking projector screen and pretty much impaled through the face on the screen. And each person he comes into contact with, he tries to help. So this is not a selfish prick. This is not. But I would say compare it to the characters in Don't Breathe. The characters in Don't Breathe, I don't care for. I found them unlikable. I found them almost as unlikable as the killer. That's one of my problems with Don't Breathe. I mean, it's not one of the worst films, but it's like either stupid shit like the turkey baster of cum, or you just have unlikable fucking characters, which this film rectifies that. You really grow to like Josh Stewart's character through his actions. And this collector, he's not just a mastermind, he gets physical with his victims. Like he stabs the boyfriend in the hand, cuts off fingers. The guy falls into what I call the bear trap massacre and just is fucked up into pieces. There's moments where him and Josh Stewart get into like fisticuffs and pushing each other and shoving each other. And there's even a good morality moment for the Arkin character because he says, fuck this, punches through a window, escapes. The reason he was there and didn't do that earlier is because he wanted to try to save some people. And he tries to leave, but then he sees that the little girl is waving to him from upstairs, and he could leave, but he doesn't. He does the right thing. He goes back for the little girl. I really like this moment where they try to set up this electrocution trap for the killer, but the killer uses this other poor guy, bashes his head through the door, and electrocutes the other guy. And again, in both these films, I don't know why I say again, I haven't said it yet. It's horror, but I like the addition of action as well. Like after that scene, the killer's throwing knives and Arkin's jumping on the beds, avoiding all the knives. He gets the girl, they go into another room with all these fish hooks, and one gets into Arkin's face, where he's like, ooh, shit. He's just trying to get this little fish hooks right off his face. He saves the girl and gets caught, and Free gets a fucking tooth pounded out of him. Arkin will talk shit to the killer, and he does that so that the killer doesn't know it's his little girl. And what does he get for that? Oh, the killer takes some bullets, puts it to his stomach, so it bites the shit out of Arkin's stomach. And again, just insanity that happens. The killer has a dog who he sicks on people, like he sicks it on this cop that visits the house. But then Arkin and the girl, they put this trash can on fire, so when the dog goes through, they shove the trash can of fire into the dog's head. And then they take the dead dog and they throw it at the killer, and the killer doesn't know what it is at first, shoots, and it blows the dead dog to pieces. And then him and Arkin get in this brutal fight in the kitchen, and he's punching and kicking the killer. It's not many times where you get that physical with a killer. Like, they don't do that in the Saw movies. They don't do that in a lot of other movies. And again, I like that. Makes it a little bit different. Makes it a little bit unique. I mean, I like the concept of the collector. I like all the little traps, this death trap he's made within this house. I like the style of it, the usage of colors, like sort of a yellow, little bit of greenish in the basement, at least as was seen like certain angles. Yeah, I thought it was well filmed. I thought for a guy who, I think this was the first thing he directed, pretty good looking piece of work. The score fit the film fine. I like the song at the end. For the beast of America. Dun, 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 dun. Thought that was a really good song for the end credits. I really like the Josh Stewart character. It went at a good pace. It didn't feel like a long movie. Yeah, it's only 90 minutes long. This is a really, let's see. Yeah, Nico Vega music video for Beast. That's the song I was talking about. And this has a couple deleted scenes, commentary by the filmmakers. So, not too much, but a little bit. But again, I like the concept. A guy who went in to try to rob some people and then comes across someone who's much, much worse. It has some good... It's stylish. Like I said, it's a good looking film. I love all the little traps, some inventive kills like the bear trap massacre, or the woman getting pulled and impaled onto the projector screen. It's really cringy in a good way for horror, like when the killer's fucking with the tongue of this person, or when he's pounding the tooth out of Arkin's mouth. It's like, ugh. Make you like, give you a little the creeps. My only issue with the film was the ending, because the ending ended on a cliffhanger. But I don't have that problem anymore because it's rectified with this. And that's why I don't need to see a third one. Because when I get to this one, the ending to this is one of the more satisfying endings I've seen to a horror film in a decade. It really is. So, The Collector, I think, is a damn good movie. I like it. I like the creation of a different... I'm not going to go so far as call it icon of horror, but a new... something new. It's a little bit like Saw, but I like it better than the Saw movies. In fact, I think these movies are better than any of the Saw movies. I definitely like these more than the new Halloween film. That's just my opinion. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. And next time I will talk about the very solid sequel, The Collection. See you guys later.